and I'm terrible sometimes when I'm tired. And I have ADHD, and I have a pretty good control over it. I have had a terrible habit of interrupting, and I don't mean to. I know a lot of people don't mean to. We all get caught up, and we do interrupt sometimes. And so, yeah, totally call me out if I ever do that. And likewise for other people. And also, I've learned also that even if I'm unjustly called out for that I'm going to have grace and back down and say, I didn't interrupt, but okay. I just have to learn that, I had to learn how to just like, a lot of, like you said, Monica, that you're, that you take a lot of heat when you mod. That's one of the reasons why I don't like modding, is because some people do take a lot of heat. And frankly, in this room, I'm prepared because it does have these rules that I think are fair. I forgot what I was going to say about. Triggers. So here's the other thing about triggers. So in that regard, I'm not responsible for another person's trigger. I'm going to be sensitive, but no one is responsible for my triggers. You know what I mean? I'm sensitive to the whole interrupting thing, and I get mad and stuff, but I'm not allowed to lash out. That's not okay. Especially to people who especially to people who haven't done anything to me. So I'm not going to do that, and I have to control myself. And I think that's, as adults, we're holding each other accountable for taking control of yourself as well. Thanks for letting me speak.
Controversial or insulting, but I think when you actually read, as opposed to
have a lot to object to that.
Like a traditional book club, this is an active reading book club.
Knowing the balancing act, because I know that I like more order than chaos, and there's people that like more chaos than order. And so if I'm too heavy with the moderation, the room gets stale and stagnant and dies out. I know that. And letting Brad become increasingly abusive to every single female he doesn't like on the app is not a good time. And he can do that in white belts and chillism. They let him. He can do that in any room that he creates, because it's his room. And I just think in the muff is made of better stuff.
Kids with, population and giving us, great gun rights.
May I ask a question?
Of course.
I've only been here for 5 minutes, but I've been listening to every word that's been spoken. What does Roger think about all of this?
Had Roger been there, none of this would have happened. Because Roger...
That's not true, man.
Okay, let me ask if I may. Hello?
Let me ask you a question real quick.
Hakima, let Steve get his thought out, because he just began speaking, and I promise, Steve, hand the mic directly to Hakima when you're done.
Has anybody gone to Roger and explained what happened?
I couldn't answer that. Roger was in my opinion, Roger left the room because of Roger was in the room when it started. Shirley, Roger left the room shortly after. And then in this room, escalation was going on, so Roger is well aware of what happened.
Yeah, when he had left or whatever, and I texted him saying it's a fucking shit show in here.
So Roger is aware of what happened, and correct?
I think for the time that he wasn't there, he knows that there was a shit show. I don't know to what detail he knows of what went on in the room, but I did text him saying it was a shit show.
Gotcha. Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Thank you very much.
Okay, I started this room quickly after I tried to feed this room into Serendipity's new room, like a palette cleanse, a hard reset, but nobody was going. And I thought Serendipity would make a new In the Muff room, and she didn't. And so I just opened this one, and she's a clever girl, found me quickly, and so we have this room. I have the replay on. I can turn it off, but I think my explanation of what happened is fair, and I'm tempted to leave it for a record. So, but I need the whole room's feedback. So let me do a no a new poll. And
well, I can tell you just by listening for the 7 minutes that I have that you clearly have leaders that occasionally don't trust and don't believe each other. I'm not a leader in this room, in this house. I'm not asking you. I'm a member. And I know how this house got started. I have my own 2 houses. I have leaders in my houses, and I have regular moderators in my houses. And all I want to say, and I'm really not bragging, I'm just saying I'm extremely proud that we have a mod squad text. And that's not a private message on Clubhouse. It's actually, we have each other's cell phone numbers, and whenever there's a problem, we have a mod squad text. It includes like 10 people, and we communicate by text. We do our best 95% successfully, not to air our dirty laundry in public. I understand that doesn't work for everybody. It might not work for most people, but it's one of the reasons why I love my mod squad. I'm not banging on anybody else. I'm not banging on this house. I'm just saying that's the way we do things. And it appears apparent to me, and I'll land it here, that in this house, you clearly have some leaders that not only don't trust each other, but don't believe each other. That's it.
Where do you get that assumption from?
yeah, well, that's not quite right. But go ahead, Serendipity.
Well, the reason why I make that assumption is because somebody said 2 minutes ago, well, I would say it, but they don't believe me. That's why I made that assumption.
Right, but the thing of it is, I think that number one, a lot of people besides just the leaders are modded in these rooms. Personally, I don't really have a problem with anybody that Roger mods. It's not an issue of trust for me and not trusting and not believing. I think sometimes the communication can be hard, especially when you're in a room like we came from, because you can't really, like you said, having a means of a back channel group text or whatever. I think that's always generally a good idea in most topical rooms. But, I think this was just a social room, and it just went crazy chaotic. And I don't really think that rehashing it at this point is going to do anybody any good.
Maybe I misunderstood, because just because you're modded doesn't mean you're a leader. If you're a leader in a house, you can start rooms in that house. If you're not a leader but you're modded for that room.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, I think it begs the question, what is a leader?
Someone who can start a room. Beth, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say that I agree with Steve. Our rooms that we mod and we open, those rooms run real smooth. And we do have back channels where we're texting each other, hey, this is getting a little out of hand over here, or let's redirect. But we don't hold spaces like this, so that would make the difference. But I think the mods should be able to communicate clearly to one another, because if not, then it becomes a problem. Because then you're throwing people out of the room that maybe the house owner is like, what the hell did you do throwing that person out of the room? Or then you have people that get blocked. You mod people up, which is weird to me. I wish people from this app could find control in their own lives, rather than feeling that only control they have on this app is to throw people down or kick them out of the room or block them. It's really quite strange. But no, Steve and I, we've been friends. Steve, how many years? At least 4, right? Our rooms never went crazy.
Sounds about right. My room, I run 2, of course, one on Saturday morning, one on Sunday morning. And it never gets out of hand, but there's a reason for that. It's because I start the room. I'm the only one that starts the room Saturday and Sunday morning. And the mods all know that I'm the one that closes the room. I'm the one that's responsible, and I'm the one that's in charge. And if the mods have any problem with that, they can do it through text. They can call me directly. As I said, and again, doesn't mean that the way I do it's going to work for everybody else, but we do not air our dirty laundry in public.
Can we get past this room comparison? Because that was not a room issue. That was simply a Brad issue. It could have been solved with one click of the button. This was not no Aaron.
Talking about me? Talking about me?
It's very difficult. It's very difficult because this is not my house, and I align with serendipity about removing people from rooms. Go ahead.
Tell you what, I'll stop the bragging right now.
Please do. I was gonna get that, Monica. Like there was a Brian because Rock room. You have some lady mods who they know Brad is Roger friend, and they didn't want to kick him out the room. That was the only issue. Like, so to make this some comparing rooms is stupid. Act like it was some kind of air dirty laundry is stupid. And to continue this conversation is fucking stupid. Like let's talk about the blue jeans or something.
Correct. I agree with you, Hikima. The thing of it is, there are lots of different moderation styles, and a lot of them work good for different reasons. We all individually like different moderation styles. We like, there are times I'm given a particular topic, I do like a very firmly handed, moderated room. I think that's best for discussion and the exchange of ideas and being able to talk to people that you're different with and it not turn into this big crash out. But then there are times in a more social element where, current events, topics, it's casual, it's popcorn style. And, sometimes people argue, and I don't even mind the arguing and the bantering. Like, I think it's good and it's healthy. And you know what? I'd much rather people be on this app arguing and working out their frustrations than taking it out on some poor unsuspecting soul in their real life. So, I don't take issue with that. I think you go where, the conversation takes you, and you enjoy what you enjoy. And if you don't, you go find something else. We all get to curate our time here on Clubhouse and spend it the way that we want to, but yeah, so.
I have a couple things, Serendipity, and then we can wrap it up because Ms. Lopez just came in and she was wondering what was happening, and I need to tell her that, it's difficult to mod a room when you can't speak, and comments in chat aren't always read, and when Kristen, I think it was interesting, Kristen, to mod KK to see what she would do, but then also I said, hey, you have to either demod yourself or unblock Serendipity. Mojo created this room, or I did this morning. Serendipity and Mojo and I have been in here all day. For her to block Serendipity when she left is untenable to me. You don't get to remove or deny someone access to a room they helped build. It's bullshit.
Right.
And then she started swinging her dick around.
Wait,
and I'm like, no,
she
didn't get to you.
You were blocked?
Yeah, which was fine. I wasn't going to go back anyway, but yeah, I was blocked.
I'm sorry. See, this is, I don't know the stupid drama, and this is a really great thing of like, don't bring drama.
Right? Yeah.
Wow, that's okay. Because you know what? We all learned. Okay. Wow.
And in fairness to her, I block her too. When I'm there and I'm modded, she can't get into the space. It is a mutual block. It's there's no drama there. We're just two personalities that we clash, and we clash in not very productive ways. So it's just better to block her and not have to deal with it, So like this, while I wholeheartedly love Monica for exactly what she just said, I totally get where she's coming from and how she felt about that. Like, I made that decision to leave that room because I just don't like to see people crash and burn like that. Like, it just breaks my heart to see people get torn up. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a big sap like that. So it in that respect, it didn't matter, Kristen. It's not like I was like, oh my God, I can't get back in the room. It wasn't a situation like that. But that's not to discredit or take away from Monica's point, because there could be a time when that wouldn't matter to me.
Right.
You know.
Right. And also, while that was a factor that I said, oh, hell no, KK is not going to curate my space for me. Also, the concern of Clubhouse glitching me out of the room and me being locked out was a huge factor, too. She doesn't get to colonize my rooms. And if Mojo wants her as a mod in his spaces, he can with my full blessing. And those are rooms I don't have to be in.
I concur. Yeah, no, I absolutely concur.
But John, when I moved Brad down, it was me to try to control the space, and I know it makes him angrier, and my options were limited because he wasn't paying attention to the mutes. I muted him several times, and then I moved him down, and I moved him down twice. I did not move him down the third time, and I do recommend people take responsibility, whoever did it, because, like I said,
the thing that Brad is that I see people getting moved down, and then mods arguing with people on stage, trying to control the stage, and all that needs to happen is a subject change and stop engaging with the people that argue like that.
Agreed.
You know, that's it. Just let's change the subject.
And not entertaining it. Mm-hmm.
Right, that's right. And so I actually had something personal going on, so I stepped away from my phone. I didn't even know what was happening or the room closed or anything like that until I got back just recently. But,
yeah, and that's what happened. Like, I was like, okay, well, this room is kind of burnt. KK is modding, and she's not. Well, she refused to unblock Serendipity, so then I moved her down. And then people kept bringing her up so she could insult me. I'm like, this is not working. Let's do a new room. And then when I tried to guide everybody to Serendipity's room, nobody was leaving. And so I demodded all the mods that who I thought could have possibly modded KK, because there was a legitimate concern she would be remodded and I'd be removed. Right.
Game theory.
I would have absolutely, because it's like, how do you figure that? And thank you for asking directly. And I'm the one who actually modded her, so I really appreciate it. Yeah.
I'm actually glad you did that experiment, because it gave us an opportunity that when she is in power, she's not graceful with it. She wouldn't allow Serendipity back in. And Serendipity doesn't want to be in, but that's not the point. The point is, it's in the muff. It's not one of her rooms. So if you're modding, go ahead, whoever interrupted.
No, I just want to know why y'all say black nationalists like that.
Because Brad has value. Brad comes with some knowledge. So when he's on his game and not attacking women.
Black nationalists, and that's what I'm talking about. And she's a black nationalist. Y'all should have never let him attack men like that.
I agree, Akima. I agree. There's many mistakes made. And I didn't know about, and here's the thing too, you know, and I apologize to Dippity and to Monica. Are you going by Scarlett now, or should I call you Monica? Do you care?
No.
You don't care.
And I don't think you had to apologize. I think you apologized already, and it really wasn't anything that, I don't hold a grudge. Because you didn't know. You needed information that you didn't have, so you made choices based on what you knew. And like I said, in hindsight, it gave us lots of good information. So we're good, Kristen. I speak for me, and we're good.
Chris, are you enjoying
You did
this?
not owe me an apology at all either.
I should have called this the Monica Show, actually.
I don't expect anybody to know my personal history with anybody else on this app. I don't expect anybody to fight my battles. You know, I mean, people do shitty things. Somebody did a horrifically, probably the most horrific, shitty thing to me last night on this app. But you know what? You don't see me making rooms about it, and you don't see me running my mouth about it, because I have to take responsibility for my experience and what I tolerate and what I allow. That's not on anybody else, so I don't hold you accountable for that.
Okay.
Okay, and so Nai's not here, and I really did, because she's not going to understand. And she did her best to get that room under control. She was Herculean with the Game of Thrones music and everything. And I just knew the temperament of the people she was trying to control, and
Yeah.
and I couldn't speak.
It does sound like a voice I would
So
do,
I
right?
did the limited things that I could do. So if y'all talk to Nye, tell her please, oh, hey, Monica, and maybe check out this replay. And what I'd like to suggest is we open another room
I think, what was
for
the name
casual
of my trans
conversation with
character
no
on here?
replays and move on to talk about jeans. What do you guys
Can
think?
we talk about jeans?
See, this is where people don't know how to
hate
meditate
I
or
got my jean
do
PTR
prayer or
But I can't
meditation and read a book.
Y'all want to continue with this room with the replay on? Y'all okay with that?
You know, I just want to say that this is like a perfect example of, where a book can help calm the nerves and reduce the anxiety and change the topic in a positive direction.
Well, sure.
We like those external hard drives, John.
In fact, another book I want to read is really very juvenile, but it was one of my favorites because there's a ghost story, and it's called Wait Till Helen Comes. Maybe one day we can read that. It's not very long.
Oh.
I'll tell you one that would be good for clubhouses for the next conversation.
It's called The Next Conversation?
Yep. It's how to say more with less words.
I'm actually going to write that down because I'm not.
Okay, now I feel called out. Were you talking about me?
No, not at all. But it gives you a lot of good, helpful information about, like, when somebody just says something that rubs you the wrong way, a more polite response to redirect their projection without really having to succumb to being nasty yourself.
Mojo.
It's a really good read.
I'm gonna go actually look on Amazon and get that because I know how, like, I was raised in a very defensive, aggressive, competitive environment. That's just, I don't like it.
These are
And
the
I wanna be
Mojo
more
survey
graceful
questions
with
on Mojo's
responses
profile.
like that. So
What would be
thanks.
preferable to the U.S. government, reducing government? Who is the star? Mojo, of course. In your opinion, Louis Poseidon's double. Mojo for sure.
My jeans are blue. I think we need a new poll, Miss Monica.
Okay, that'll be my last vocal act for a while. So
Okay.
Should we?
I'm sure everybody's aware of the American Eagle ad and the backlash that has come from it. With Sydney Sweeney. And so, yeah, I think first we'll probably ought to get this poll up and let everybody vote in the poll and kind of see where the room stands.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with American Eagle, like I said. It's Megyn Kelly, though, is a complete hypocrite, though. She constantly shit talks other girls who are more attractive than her, so...
I'm pretty sure it's Megyn Kelly that got into that argument with that other girl that, let me see. Why can't I remember?
That most people's, if most people's lives, at least in the Western world, is relatively good today, that increases the misery and pain of the unfortunate much more than it was 200 years ago or 500 years ago when most people's lives was miserable.
What do you mean because of the comparison?
Exactly.
Like, okay. Oh, I see what you're saying, Rosh, yeah.
Well, fuck envious people.
Hey, I want to address the stupid title of your room. Just call Islam stupid is really stupid of a stupid person who creates a room about stupid Islam or Christianity. Maybe you should, read a book or something, as opposed to coming on here and complaining all the time. Aren't you, divorced or something? And you got a broken heart? Maybe if you read the Bible or the glorious Quran, you would find some peace and love and joy in yourself again and get yourself a girlfriend or a boyfriend and fall in love, because it sounds to me like you just got a jaded heart.
Oh God, that is so funny. That's actually cheered me up today.
Wow. Listen, John.
Yeah, what is it, silly, stupid man? Stupid orange-haired, ugly boy. What are you gonna do about it? You're gonna kick me from the room because you got an anger management problem too?
I have a particular set of skills. A set of skills that makes me a nightmare for people like you. If you don't apologize,
What do you think, you're Batman? You're like the Jewish Batman now? A Jew's never played Batman, never.
See, you can't play, like, have fun with people if you don't let them do their bits too. Like, and not let someone else do their bits. You're a fucking.
But see, that's what that. No, my
improvisational comedian. If you
that was a good one, wasn't it?
Other people's jokes, bro. You're a failed comedian, bro. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't know. I thought that.
Hey, Rob.
Sorry.
I gotta clip all
I
this.
was like, shit, no, I unfortunately have to go up to an appointment. I was just like, I don't know, stick on for the humor. I don't know. I think spaces like sometimes get really serious, and I was just like opinion, but
yeah, that was good.
I mean, also having some humor is kind of like quality of life. I mean, you can have really serious conversations, but it's all kind of opinion, and it's all just kind of. But I mean, there's some kind of humor that I think breaks up nicely. So
somebody just wanted to do a private with
that was appreciated for
somebody named Sabercon.
Here's a fun one. I've been married for 23 years, right?
She's
Just for hits and giggles, I changed all my relationship statuses to single. I'm 51 years old. I changed all my relationship statuses to single, and the algorithms immediately started advertising like fancy cat food to me.
Dick.
Not dick, no, cats. Like,
wait.
I posted the wrong link, Kristen. That's not the one. There's one of them. She talks about, I got this from my mother. I got this from my father, talking about genes as in GENES.
Yeah.
And then she ends it with, I got great genes. My genes are blue.
Oh. What does that mean? Sorry for the being dumb, but
yeah, she's just playing on the the whole gene versus gene thing, and basically a lot of people have come out and said that it's Nazism, it's promoting white supremacy, blah blah blah.
It's the whole blue. You said blue jeans,
right?
It's like the whole blue blood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, blue blood, and yeah.
All right, let me watch. Interesting.
So this is John.
There's a history, right? Didn't Beyonce do that? So I don't know the history, but pardon?
Yeah, Beyonce did them with Levi.
Yeah, so there's a history with the back and forth on that.
Oh, do tell, Dawn.
What's that?
Micro has a react to Sydney's Gina.
So, I keep getting accused that I am that person point on this app, who I believe is a white guy doing a black. I mean, the PTR is irrelevant. We know that is not the person, and it's most likely a white gay guy doing that voice. I wouldn't even call it a black voice. I don't know. I would just call it a guy doing a woman's impersonation, right? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Okay, so I have a show open called The Point Show Comedy, where I'm going to do an impersonation of Point. I hope you don't mind, but I'm going deep in the muff into character.
I've definitely accused Point of being you in several rooms. this is my first time seeing you guys in a room together and definitely speaking at the same time. So
Well,
I'm leaning away from the fact that
I did have a trans character on here for a while. I can't remember what it was called. Does anybody remember?
I don't. I was one of those that blocked you on site.
Oh my God, did you really?
I told Roger out of the 299 people I have blocked, John was 297 of them.
I mean, it's terrible. How dare
you? You wanna know why I started blocking him though? He really ticked me off. He came into a Monica Serendipity and Ann room, and when we realized it was him on his Edmund account, he got booted. And I don't even know who booted him at that point because I really wasn't on the boot Edmund on site bandwagon. But then he came back in with another one of his accounts, pretending to be a black boy. And it's my 3 favorite white women. And so then he carried on a conversation with us for 15 minutes before somebody else came in and said, "Y'all know you're talking to Edmund, right?"
No way.
I was so
Black
mad at
boy.
him. I was like, "Oh, screw him."
Wait, you're claiming I played a black boy?
You did. You totally did.
I'd have to hear that recording.
That's why I started blocking you.
See, I think people may project a lot of other people onto me and not even know they're doing it.
No, it was definitely you. Because when you got called out on it, you lost your character voice.
Well, I'd have to hear that recording because it's not often that well, maybe I have. I guess I have. But, I'd have to hear it because to claim...
it's my 3 favorite white ladies, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'd have to hear the supposed recording.
John, people, huh?
I mean, while Monica is known as our favorite Canadian who wants to make America great again.
So, Necro, have you ever bought one article of clothing from American Eagle stores?
Yeah, I just bought some, although they were not blue jeans.
What did you buy?
I bought skinny jeans.
Wow, you bought skinny jeans.
The thing is I need to buy skinny jeans because I'm only 135 pounds, so.
Got it. Well, you could do squats. You could take protein supplements and have a New York strip for dinner tonight and pump some iron.
You know what? Maybe we could do this too. Since you did the whole reading room, we can do a walking room where for 1 hour we can all do talking and maybe not. It could be a room from In the Muff. It could be whatever. But we could do a walking room where it's let's feed Necro, yeah. Some protein shakes, and we'll walk for an hour, and we'll all do it together. I need that too. I say that because I need it too. You can say no.
I mean, I've lost my 6-pack, and I used to be so skinny that I pretty much was all just pretty much just bones. So
the egregore mind.
That's not good.
The egregore mind.
Let's get you some more protein.
Interdimensional dopamine mining.
This is why I don't talk very much. A long
Break
time
free
ago,
from the gravity gulag.
I figured if I was going to be spending this much time on Clubhouse, I could only be spending this much time on Clubhouse if I was doing something else. So I try to stay busy.
Well, see, when I'm here, most of the time I'm really engaged because I am live streaming myself. So I think it gives me a different experience, maybe a higher dopamine experience. Plus I smoke cannabis, generally, and drink coffee in the morning. But all I'm trying to say is, let it go. Let your thoughts go, because it's very hard to purge your memory, and you never really can. So the whole thing is, if you do want to purge your memory, you have to create new experiences and new educational moments, in my opinion. I think, reading a book is meditation. So if like you are emotionally discombobulated, from a previous room, just imagine the previous speaker's emotional discombobulation, because when you self roast and you're really nasty and aggressive, it doesn't make you feel good because you're using very negative words and terminology. So I would say have more friendship, have more kindness, because people who are really angry and do road rage, uh, there is no way that they could be sitting well with themselves. It's so I would just say, amplify the love to extinguish the pain.
I wish I could smoke pot. That's not fair. I want to smoke pot.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who could benefit from it, but unfortunately, they have these things called jobs, and a lot of their jobs dictate that they cannot consume a vegetable plant, which in many ways I understand, because knowing them, they should be 100% sober doing that job.
Well, I think it's also, for me, it's just a good discipline. I don't need a crutch to take freaking good care of myself. I just need to take care of myself.
Yeah, health, wealth, love. I put it in that priority strand because
Well, it's fun, but yeah.
it's hard to maintain your health. It requires work. It's another job.
Monica, to your comment about who knew the word hun would trigger so thoroughly, it can be condescending sometimes.
Oh, it totally is. I agree.
Yeah. People can, particularly somebody my age, just looking at me and going, hun, no, I'm not your honey.
I once told my teacher, my name is Doctor, not Honey.
Oh, shit. Well, I think that this was a great example of the conflict that it was an excellent, it was an incredible example that I can never really articulate very well. Like how I grew up in a Midwestern household.
Yes, there was a war after they called Israel.
In a southern.
So if they're resisting for their own land or property or whatever, then it turns into a war. It's not a war. They want their shit back. Just like you live in America, you probably want your shit back. If somebody was to come and pull up and say, "Oh no, we have a UN partition plan, or we have this, God promised us this land from 3,000 years ago, give it up," and they force you, and you try to get help from cops or whatever, and cops are in bed with these people, these criminals, they're trying to take away property, and they even file the cases. There's the cases that they have filed in the court, to try to get their, land back or whatever. A lot of the people, and I came across quite a few Palestinians on Twitter space, on here, and even in my real life, they have keys, deeds, and whatever paperwork to their properties. So I don't think I don't think we can call it a war. They just were resisting. And then the Arab army, they wanted to help them, trying to get their land back.
I guess you could call it an invasion if you wanted. Because they didn't have any land in the first place, and they invaded the existing people there to take the space, right? So I could see that being an invasion rather than a war, or an invasion that amounted to a one-sided war. I'm not convinced, though, that there's any basis to take Israel's borders from them as they stand today, but I'm not supportive of them expanding their borders. And
do you agree with the Nakba?
What would I have to agree to the Nakba? Like, what do you mean?
Right,
when you say you agree with it?
You said like the borders, you don't want them to expand anymore.
Oh yeah.
You think that they shouldn't go?
Well, I agree with what they did in the first place. Is what you're saying. Not from a Zionist principle, no. No, I see what you're saying. But that I would consider people that agree with that portion of it are textbook Zionists. I would say that's what Zionism kind of is the people that think that was completely appropriate. I'm not saying I'm that. I'm saying that in light of the fact that they exist already, I don't think it's appropriate to be taking it from them, but that doesn't mean that they should be supported in expanding it as well. They should not. So I guess what I'm saying, and they should lay off They should lay off the Palestinians when it comes to the West Bank and the incursions on the West Bank, things like that.
They give back land? Should they minimize or reduce their borders?
No, other than turning over anything that they kind of encroached on the West Bank and stuff based on, in the last 40 or 50 years, maybe. Yes, but I don't think they should be giving back the proper borders that exist beyond the Golan Heights and the West Bank and Gaza as they stood, after all that happened, I guess.
But there's still people alive that remember it before that, right? So
sure, yeah, but the world's full of conquered people, right? Like that's where it's no different than any other part of history. I mean, I'm an American, right? I mean, we came in and wiped out the Indians, gave them this shitty little place, those shit.